President Biden takes strong action to get more people vaccinated. The new requirement for all companies who employ 100 or more people.
Thousands of people enlisted in the military after the 9/11 attacks. Now, just days before the 20th anniversary, a local Marine reflects on the decision he made as a teenager.
A first in San Diego as more than 100 local nonprofits take part in a day of giving. The project's lifting up our neighborhoods and the money being raised.
ABC 10 News at 6 starts now.
We remain at a critical moment, a critical time. We have the tools. Now we just have to finish the job with truth, with science, with confidence.
President Biden says it is time for the 80 million eligible Americans who remain unvaccinated to get their shots. Today, he laid out a 6-point plan to stop the spread of coronavirus and end the pandemic in the U.S. The plan expands his federal vaccine mandate and calls on state governors to do more as well. Good evening. I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. The president's new vaccine requirements are expected to have an impact on about 100 million Americans. Our ABC 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala joins us live with what this could mean for San Diegans who work for larger companies. Mimi.
Hi, Steve and Kim. Yeah, employers with more than 100 employees will have to require vaccinations or weekly COVID-19 testing.
The bottom line, we're going to protect vaccinated workers from unvaccinated coworkers.
As the COVID-19 pandemic rages on in the United States, President Joe Biden taking some serious measures Thursday to try to slow the spread. The president signed executive orders requiring vaccinations for millions of Americans. All federal employees, as well as government contractors, will be required to be fully vaccinated without the option of regular testing instead. In another big move expected to have a significant impact on San Diego County, Biden announced the Department of Labor is developing an emergency rule for all employers with 100 workers or more. They'll need to have their entire workforce be fully vaccinated or show proof of a negative COVID-19 test once a week. Legal analyst Dan Eaton says while the order that applies to federal workers and contractors is stricter than that for private employers, there could be a number of lawsuits stemming from this.
You can see potentially not only private employers pushing back, but also potentially states pushing back and saying this intrudes on their police powers, that this is something that really ought to be left for them to do, and the federal government is overreaching.
Eaton says there's still a large population that will not be impacted by the new mandates.
It doesn't apply to the broad range of the workforce that works as independent contractors, like ride-sharing services and the like. It expands the scope of those that are subject to vaccine mandates, but it doesn't capture everyone.
And this afternoon, Biden also said employees required to get vaccinated will be given paid time off to do so. We're live along Harbor Island. Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
Mimi, thank you. Many Californians are worried that an unvaccinated person could affect their health. In our latest ABC 10 News Union Tribune poll, nearly half of all Californians surveyed said they were very concerned about that possibility. An additional 31% said that they were somewhat concerned. Those numbers are much closer in San Diego County. Of nearly 400 San Diegans surveyed, 37% said that they were very concerned, 35% said somewhat. Across California and here in the county, roughly 20% of people are not very or not at all concerned about this. San Diego's COVID cases may finally be trending down once again. This is now the 6th day in a row where fewer than 1,000 new infections were reported. There were 720 today. The county added that 3 more people, sadly, have died from this virus.
The Los Angeles Unified School District has become the first and the largest in the country to mandate vaccines for all students 12 and older. The school board made its decision today by unanimous vote, and the mandate applies to all students learning in person, as well as those taking part in in-person extracurricular activities. All eligible students must be fully vaccinated by December 19th.
JetBlue has banned a couple that was flying to San Diego from their airline after a maskless confrontation with a flight attendant. Well, we're told the man shoved the flight attendant before takeoff. He then yelled a profanity-riddled statement that he waited hours for the flight and wasn't warned about his mask. He was escorted off the plane. Then a woman who appeared to be his wife was also escorted off the plane. The video shows her dropping her mask to tell passengers she was trying to comply. The person who shot this video wrote on Instagram that the flight attendant told her to fix her son's mask at the entry, which she didn't, and her husband and her both had their masks on off the nose the whole time.
For the second day in a row, San Diegans and all of California are asked to conserve energy until 9 p.m. A statewide flex alert is in effect for the next 3 hours. The goal is to keep the state's power grid from straining as we experience yet another heat wave this summer. The state has not yet said if there will be a third flex alert for tomorrow. Watching it all, meteorologist Angelica Campos tracking the heat this week, joining us with the temperatures that we've been seeing. Angelica.
Hi, Kim. Definitely a hot day in the county, almost 100 degrees in Santee and Valley Center with a high of 97 degrees. In Ramona, 95. San Diego went up to 85 degrees today, and we still have a heat advisory. This is going to be ongoing into the weekend. The heat advisory was now extended until Sunday night at 9 p.m. from the valleys all the way into our mountains. And one of the reasons why that flex alert is in effect is because of the heat advisories extending all the way up north, even red flag warnings in northern California, where many fires are still burning. We're expecting to see a few isolated thunderstorms for the rest of this week. I'll show you what to expect in this 7-day forecast.
And you can stay on top of the heat and all future flex alerts with the ABC 10 News app. It's free. You can find it in the App Store.
All week long, we have been taking a look at how September 11th changed America as we approach the 20th anniversary of the attack. 9/11 sparked a wave of people signing up to join our military. ABC 10 News reporter Leah Pizzetti talked to a local Marine on the decision he made as a teenager.
Like many, Marcus Gischilli remembers exactly where he was September 11th, 2001.
I was sitting in my second or third period and watching the towers actually fall.
A sophomore in high school at the time, he says he felt a strong feeling of wanting to do something.
If somebody is responsible for this, then when the time comes, those of us who witnessed it would be a part of helping to make sure that justice is served.
Ultimately, he did just that, going to boot camp straight out of high school, and within the first 5 years of service, he deployed 4 times. But his 4th deployment cut short when he stepped on an IED. He lost his leg in the explosion, and scars on his body show the shrapnel wounds, but none of this has stopped him. He ended up doing 6 more years of service, eventually getting out in 2016 when family called. Now he's busy with a baby.
There's your smile.
And 5 kids total. He now lives a life not impacted by his injury, and he travels around, sharing his story of adapting and overcoming with teens and athletes.
Influencing others to do better, to really, understand like if they go through some type of ailment or injury, they should take the time to heal up and get better, but also have like this trajectory that their lives are not over.
And reflecting on that decision to enlist 20 years ago, he says even with everything that's happened, he would do it all again in a heartbeat.
9/11 is a remembrance for all those people who sacrificed and served to help improve our country, and I believe that's what the country's spirit is really about, that no matter what we're going through internally or externally, that if there's a threat to our freedom, that there will always be a generation of people who step up and say that they want to help to protect that.
Leah Pizzetti, ABC 10 News.
And ABC News will air a live special this Saturday on the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks. America Remembers from 5 to 10 Saturday morning is right here on ABC 10.
A group of North County daycares has changed its mask policy after its previous policy was found to violate state licensing rules. In an email last month, the Children's Paradise Preschool said it would remain, quote, neutral concerning masks and leave that decision up to parents. But child care centers licensed by the state must require masks in order to receive funding. A local Head Start that gives free curriculum programs to the center says it reached out after learning of the mask optional policy.
So when we saw that there was what seemed to be something that was out of line with what community care licensing was requiring, we did contact them and inform them that their preschool operations needed to meet all the guidelines that community care licensing operates under.
Children's Paradise Preschool sent a new email this month mandating masks on everyone over the age of 2.
With just 5 days to go before the California governor recall election, latest polls show voters leaning towards keeping Governor Gavin Newsom in office. According to an ABC 10 News Union Tribune poll, 54% of likely recall election voters want to keep the governor, compared to 41% who want to replace him. If Newsom is recalled, talk show host Larry Elder is the clear frontrunner among the Republicans.
Larry Elder, who is outspoken, who's not afraid to take controversial stands, that hurts him with the broader electorate, but that has helped galvanize about a quarter of California's voters, almost all of whom are Republicans, who are very excited about his candidacy.
Many voters may also choose to leave that second question of who should replace Newsom blank, 31% according to the latest poll. And about 35% of registered voters in San Diego County have returned a ballot so far. Today, the registrar of voters said it has received more than 700,000 mail ballots since sending them out last month. Nearly 2 million people are registered to vote here in the county. Ballots can be mailed or dropped off at an early voting location until Election Day next Tuesday. And ABC 10 News is your source for the special election. We will have live coverage of the recall vote on air and streaming all night long on September the 14th. Stay up to date on your streaming device, your computer or your phone. To watch, just download the ABC 10 News app or go to 10news.com.